Since 1961, Quartz Plumbing has offered friendly, reliable service to residences all over Bergen County, New Jersey. We are a fourth-generation family-owned business, unmatched in customer satisfaction and professionalism while working in your home. We are the hydronic heating and water filtration specialists, with a workmanship guarantee to put you at ease so you can rest comfortably. We offer financing for those big projects that catch you off guard, and we have a network of excellent contractors in all fields for any project you wish to tackle. Call our responsive office team, and we'll dispatch a handsome and educated technician to lay the smackdown on all your plumbing issues. You can also find us at quartzplumbing.com, search us on Google, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Like, subscribe, and share, please.
That's right, folks. Welcome to Plum Bums Podcast, the blue collar tradesman show where we talk about small business and entrepreneurship in these crazy times of 2024.
First try. That was your first try. That was the first ever time you got it first try.
I think I only air one time where I screwed it up. But the rest of the time, I edit all that out.
So
I don't know why. I guess learning lines and trying to spout them is more difficult than just popping off at the top of the head.
I think you chose a pretty difficult intro too, instead of just like a simple,
Welcome to Plum Bums Podcast, the Everyman's podcast.
Boom, done. People like simplicity.
We'll put a vote. I'll put this on Instagram as a poll, and we'll vote.
What happens if it ties?
Then I'll stick with the longer one. I don't know. The Plum
I
Bums
thought you were going to say
Everyman's...
tie goes to me. So
okay, I guess that would be the right thing.
Yeah.
That rarely crosses my mind though. The right thing. So, how have we been doing lately?
I think we've been fine. You wanted to talk about your road rage again, right? On the intro.
I don't
You told
understand.
me a funny story earlier, later last week.
I'll think about it. I'll think about telling that one.
All right.
I don't understand what the F is going on.
You're a part of the problem too. I'm just gonna say
No,
your
listen.
anger is so.
Hold on. Before you shoot me down,
it encompasses.
let me
your
finish
face.
my thought here. Yes, it does, and it's a big fish tank at the truck. You can't help it. But all day long, it's getting worse every week. All day long, you're battling with people just messing with you on the road, running up on the shoulder to hit you, to jump in front of you at a red light. A truck. It's a truck, people.
I do notice that people do it with
It's
trucks. More
packed
often.
with equipment, little parts in shelves, and that just enrages me. Like if I'm driving my personal truck, someone does that, I'm like, whatever. But the work truck, my bread and butter, now people are just going to mess with Quartz Plumbing trucks on the road just because.
Good thing ours isn't labeled yet.
It will be by the time this airs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting our big truck relabeled. I'm pretty excited about that. I can't wait to see how it looks. It's the new logo with Frankie on it. By the time this airs, it'll be on the road. So, comment what you think, because I converted all our graphics to that logo, so I'm kind of in it now. Even ordered merch with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been aggravating me, and it gets worse. It gets worse and worse. Okay, I will tell the story. So,
got him. I got him.
I'm driving down Kinderkamak, and there's this person behind me. We're going 5 miles over the speed limit, which everyone does in the morning on Kinderkamak going down toward Hackensack. Okay, five miles over the speed limit is acceptable. Okay, if you're going the speed limit on Kinderkamak, you're just a ball buster, and you're doing it on purpose, and you know why you're doing it. There's no need. 5 miles over. Even cops will give you that. She's on this guy's ass. Like just up there and then swaying back and forth. And there's a whole line of traffic all the way down Kinderkamak. Where are you going to go? You're not going to get anywhere any faster. And she's harassing this dude. And then finally, I guess the car in front of her pulls off. And then she's behind me. She's actually not tailgating me. And then we get up to a light and she comes up and she almost hits me from behind. So I'm like, whatever. And at this point, I'm not even bothered because she's behind me. And I'm going down Kinderkamak, and then I'm going straight to head toward Ferguson, toward Temple Ave, 20 Temple Ave, Ferguson Plumbing Supply. If you guys ever need plumbing products, hit them up.
Sponsor us first, Ferguson, and then you can hit up Ferguson. There's plenty of other supply houses in the area.
And then we'll give you coupons.
All right.
I come up to a red light. She busts over on the right, on the single white line shoulder, jumps in front of me to hit the red light and stops. And I had to slam on my brakes, and I heard stuff like the stuff we have shelves and bins that are pretty secure on the truck, and I heard just things that don't move just slam forward. And I'm so angry. I'm trying to keep it together. And then she starts recklessly driving the person in front of her. So we finally get up to the last light. This story's going on forever. Sorry, Sal. Sal's our guest this week, by the way. I told him don't go over 3 minutes telling a story. And here I am at the 5-minute mark. Anyway, so we go.
You said you almost hit a pedestrian on that curb.
Almost hit some dude's walking down with like just listening to headphones, bopping down. She goes so close to that median. He's caught off guard. She slams on so we finally get to 2 lights ahead. And I'm making a left. She's going straight. And I get next to her and I take a picture of her license plate and her face. And that's it. And then I pull off and I make a left. She calls the business number. She goes, "Your employee got out of his car to take pictures of me and video. He's harassing me. I'm just an 18-year-old girl. I have no idea why he's doing this." She's freaking out. "I'm calling the police, by the way," and tells Nancy this. Nancy calls me while I'm at Ferguson. She tells me this whole thing. I go, you call her back and you say this verbatim. I go, "The technician has front and rear dash cams. He was watching you all the way from Continental be aggressive all the way down Kinderkamak. And then when you got behind him, you jumped on the shoulder to jump a red light and then stopped short in front of him and made everything slam forward. He has this on camera. He has a front and rear video of you all the way from Continental Ave." So she starts backtracking and saying, "Well, I don't remember doing any of that." She goes, and then I told Nancy to tell her, like, "Listen, if you want to report us to the cops, we'll just submit this footage as well." So she starts backtracking and going on, and then she starts playing the poor little, "I'm only an 18-year-old girl. I'm just trying to get to work in the morning." And it was so funny because Nancy said her tone like that, she became Karen on fire to like, "Oh crap." And it felt so good because you never get to do that. And these people just F with you all day on the road. It's not fair. And you're right. I do have a bit of a temper, but day in and day out, how much can you take? How much can one man take?
How much can one man take?
These people.
Yeah. Let's introduce the guests. Did you get it out?
What, were you getting bored through my story?
No, I'm just saying. I wanted you to vent because you were like holding on to that story all from last week. You were. The first thing you did when you came to the job site after that incident was like, you slammed the door, you look at me with that face like, "I need to tell you a story." and you just vented. And then you told the story again later on.
Yeah, but you know what? I get excited to show you like stupid crap because we just talk about the same stuff all day. So when it's something new, it's like I have something good to talk about.
Frankie wants you to tell a story again.
No, she wants
can
food
just rewind.
again. That's
All
what
right,
she
Sal.
wants. She wants her second dinner.
So
Yeah.
what are you doing on my show? What are we? Why are you here?
I'm here to teach you how to play poker. You weren't good then. You're not good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my games, but when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that's just a fluke. So Sal's an old buddy of mine. We go way back to the not quite high school, right after high school was when I started hanging out with you guys.
It's been a while.
But I remember we used to get together once or twice a week and just play cards all night long. And that was a ritual for 15 years.
Yeah.
It used to be at the fireplace. I remember playing at the fireplace. Did you ever come play at the fireplace?
No, that was
That was
my
pre.
time. Yeah, all the fireplace was to me was a good cheeseburger, and now it's a good chicken sandwich. Unfortunately,
Now,
but
can you believe that?
I do love me some Chick-fil-A though.
I do too. But
but
It's
not
the
at
end
the
of an era.
expense. Not at the expense of the firehouse.
And you know what? I thought that they actually, whatever. I don't want to get into the fireplace's business failure.
Fireplace.
Even
You
if they
said
failed.
firehouse. You got me calling it firehouse.
Did I say firehouse?
You did.
Good sandwich place.
Good sandwich place, yeah. And you want to talk about Chick-fil-A has like everyone agrees Chick-fil-A has the best staff, right? The best drive-through staff. They're just the nicest people.
kind
Get
of.
everything done.
I have my feelings about
Where
that.
have you had a bad experience at
No,
Chick-fil-A?
it's just none, and they're just too nice.
So that's your complaint?
It's like, hey, welcome to. What do you want? And I'm like, what do you mean? I have to look to see
Bro,
if you guys
never,
have
like,
anything new.
That's. I mean, I can't. I'm not
Before
gonna,
I get to the menu.
Anything new? It's chicken.
Right.
Everything is
Yeah,
just
no,
a
you're
different
right.
But
variation
it's
of
like
chicken.
no, but I need to like,
You see the menu,
yeah, like
even if you order the same thing, a number one
because I'm a
deluxe.
spicy guy, right? So if there's like a new variety of spicy chicken sandwiches, I need to see it first. And it's like the guy who comes up to me,
They have
how
hand-
are you? What can I get for you? What you can get for me is please step aside so I can look at the menu.
Out of the way, pal.
Please.
Anywho, cards back at the fireplace.
Yeah.
Then we played at a buddy of ours' house for a very long time, back
Good
and forth.
times. A lot of good memories there.
So
And that's kind of how it all started for me.
yeah,
You know, supposed to have a party back in the year after I graduated high school. And then a friend's relative got into a car accident. We thought it was bad taste to party that night. So someone suggested, hey, let's play poker. I had no idea. But from the first night I played, I was like super intrigued. And
it was fun.
yeah, but then the more I played with the same people and I saw like the same people winning, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's an art. It's
Yeah,
it's
like there's
it's
something
a
else
skill.
to this. It's like they're not winning by,
Yeah.
they're just better. And I'm like, what makes them better? And then me with my personality, I'm like, I have to find out.
Yeah.
And once I learned how to
The
play,
people don't know your personality yet.
oh,
You're not doing a good job of putting it forward either.
sorry, hey guys.
So wait, did one of those people become like your mentor?
no,
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 you just wanted to learn.
You know
the
what?
game.
Let's interject here. So Sal's a professional card player. He has been for 20 years.
I don't
Less
know.
than on and off 20
On and
years. I mean, we get the bug sometimes to hit it when we'll fly out to a casino,
Yeah,
like
Fly, drive.
drive
fast.
drive out to a casino just for the day.
as fast as you can because it's so far away.
If Nancy ever calls you back, I'd be like, you know what? They can't get to you today. We have to push you tomorrow. We're at the casino.
Which casino do you go to?
Yeah.
Mount Airy.
Mount Airy's the
Oh,
Mount Airy, dude.
to what?
I
Not to play poker.
No,
No,
because they have one table there. Not to bash Mount Airy.
no. You know what? Hollywood. If you go a little bit further, is a really good casino. They have a lot of card tables.
Hollywood?
Where were we? We were at Hollywood.
I think that was called Hollywood Casino. I don't know what part of PA it was in, but another one that's good was what was that other one in PA with the bridge?
Hollywood. That's Hollywood Casino.
Oh, Hollywood only has if
I don't know.
I thought you were talking about the one with the racetrack.
That's Parks.
Outside.
PARX, which is very well known. It's like top 3 poker room in the East Coast, on the East Coast. And then there's the Sands, which is now Wind Creek.
Yes, Wind Creek is the one. Oh, sorry.
There's the old Sugar House, which is close to Philly, but now that's Rivers. Hollywood sounds made up.
It could be. I don't know.
There's a Hollywood. No, there's no Hollywood. Let's just we'll edit Hollywood.
I can't wait. I can't wait to put this in and then like put up a commercial for Hollywood Casino in PA and just like roast you after.
Right.
I'm gonna film like a separate segment. Like this guy calls himself a professional card player. Doesn't even know Hollywood Casino.
You know, I've
In the
always
middle of
hated that.
Pennsylvania?
I've always hated that term.
Professional card
Professional poker player, professional card player.
player. What do you want to be called?
I never labeled
What are your
myself.
pronouns?
Yeah. Can I take a guess?
Frankie, help me out.
It. No.
Yeah, I didn't. You don't need much. This might need to be edited. I'm not sure. You don't need much. You don't have. There's no like training you need to complete to be considered professional. What
I would say professional is you make your living from it.
right. You have no other source of income
Yeah.
but what you make from poker.
Well, that's what you do.
Right.
So you're a professional card player.
Yeah, but like you could be on unemployment for 6 months.
Professional.
Let's hope not.
Professional unemployed.
Yeah, and then be like, oh, I won a poker tournament. I'm a professional poker player, and that drives me crazy.
Yeah, but isn't that how it is? Up, down, like
What are you saying? Like you're just a poker player? I'm not a professional. I'm a poker player.
Yeah, like I
I'm
don't know.
regretting to agreeing to this.
Hey, listen, if anyone's put in the hours to be qualified as professional,
It's you.
yes,
Okay. It's fair enough.
yeah,
All right. You're a professional poker player. Deal with it. Eat
yeah.
it. I'm a professional plumber. You're a professional plumber's helper.
Helper guy.
Yeah. So you make your living. And I mean, to me, okay, so here's my thing with gambling. Obviously, you're up and down. You're up and down. It's a roller coaster. And the whole time you're stressed.
Do you know how? I don't mean to cut you off. You had Kerr on here,
Yeah.
and how it's kind of like taboo to call wrestling fake.
Yeah.
It's kind of like taboo to say
Okay, fair
poker
enough.
is gambling because poker's more compared to like.
It's a skill.
So in the court of law, right? Poker is considered a game of skill. In
Okay.
in games like blackjack and roulette are called
that's straight
games
up
of
game.
chance.
Okay. I got
Poker's
you.
very similar to chess. There's a lot of strategy. You're not playing against the house. You're playing against other people of skill.
Right.
Your skill versus my skill. And the better player is going to win 9 out of 10 times. So there's not a lot of gambling when it comes to that. The gambling aspect is you're risking money, but you're investing in your skill with your money and say, hey, my skill, like if me and you play 10 times, you might beat me once. So I'm comfortable risking my money
Shots fired.
in a situation
Yeah,
like
for
that.
real. All right, clear the
Heads
set.
up poker match
Clear the
right
set.
now.
Let's get 2 other people over here. It's 5 people minimum, right? You won't play cards with
No, I still all these years later, I love playing cards. I'll play cards for beers.
I'm saying like the minimum. What's the minimum? Okay, etiquette wise, what's the minimum allowed at the table, or should be at the table to have like a game that you can have? Because I say 5 people.
He just said for beers.
I think he's talking about how many people should be at the table.
okay.
Yeah,
the
I
You
headphones
didn't
think
on.
make it. You didn't make it sound like that. Both of us got you on that one.
What do you want to put your business up? No, I'm just that'd be gambling.
That'd be huge gambling. Because I'm not a card player. Well, I mean, I like to play cards, but I'm not like.
You know what? Going back to your point, I just want to say this too. Like what you said about poker being not a it's not gambling. It's like profession almost. Remember that? Remember the movie Tombstone? Either of you remember the movie?
Is that with,
Tombstone? Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember what he says to Wyatt Earp? He goes, "Poker is an honest game. Gambling and all of this, all the other stuff that you see, that's the dishonest game. House always wins."
I love that.
Yeah.
It's true though. What's
Yeah.
the longest game you ever sat for?
Oh man.
How many hours?
Got to a casino on a Friday, call it 8:00, and played till Sunday 1:00. So
Friday 8:00, play till Sunday.
Friday
1:00?
8 p.m. Probably stopped around Sunday 1 p.m.
And they're
Same table.
You guys don't like get breaks, right? There's no like
Well,
time to like go do something, right?
there are tournaments and then there's cash games. Tournaments is very structured.
Yeah.
That's kind of like here's the field and you play till there's a winner. And there's breaks every like 2 hours. Cash games, it's like kind of like when you just go and sit and play like at a craps table or something, you kind of get up whenever you want, take a break whenever you want, but you're playing until you're satisfied or until
Somebody
You know,
wins,
Never
yeah.
satisfied.
yeah.
I just started playing craps actually.
I've never rolled the dice.
Me neither.
Do you?
I've actually sat at the table quite a bit. I never got to roll the dice.
I've watched people roll the dice. I haven't seen many people win, even though people say that craps is one of the best.
I've won a lot. So the first time I played craps was at this alleged Hollywood casino that doesn't exist. So
At a craps table that you never played at.
yeah, that I dreamed of. I won a lot of money,
Awesome.
and I'm like, holy cow! So the dealer was kind of helping me out. He was so Asian that I couldn't fully understand, and I was trying to like be like, wait, say that again. Can you repeat that?
Right.
Can you like tweak your R's a little bit so I can understand? You know, and like
Was it-
such a nice guy, and I tipped him a lot too because he
That's
did
good.
help me out. but I was starting to get the feel of it, and like you can win a ton of money on craps.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the point where, because they go quick. You
It's
know what I mean?
fast.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to the point where, you know, if you're jumping in on the action, you can just rake in a lot.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, that's why some people gravitate towards poker, because it's a slower game. And you know, for the casual person that's going to the casino and they want to see their money last, you know, poker is a much slower game.
honestly, I tap out at 3 hours.
But can you play craps for 3 hours?
No.
Probably not. It's too
not at
fast
all.
of a game for that.
Not at all. But to sit at a card game,
Yeah.
I think 3 hours I would tap out.
But there's a lot to it also, why people go to the casino. Poker is a very, like, if you're a social person,
Right.
you know, you're sitting at the table with 8 other strangers, and a lot of times, like, good conversations come up. You're spending a lot of hours together, you know. And that was part of the process for me too. I think that what I gravitated to was, I always wanted to work for myself, and you know, I'm a people person. I can make friends with anyone, and
I make friends with you though.
yeah, no, 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 I'm
You got to be quicker than that.
yeah. Yeah. I think about it too. No, because people have said like they don't expect me to be how I am
What do you
based
mean?
off like my appearance. They think I'm like very serious,
Oh yeah.
very unapproachable, when it's the opposite.
You look like this guy who used to like collect the offering at my church when I was growing up,
Wow.
just in more modern clothing.
Like,
Well, it's not an offense. He's a nice guy.
I'm sure he was or is. I don't know. We'll never
I don't know either,
We'll
to
never
be
know.
honest. This is a long time ago.
so there's a huge social aspect to poker. Obviously,
Yeah.
you have to be close with all those guys that you're sitting at the table with, but not too close, obviously, because you're still trying to win their money.
Yeah.
right?
That's the
There's
dynamic.
healthy banter, I would think.
There is healthy yeah, like, you know, you kind of talk crap and, you know, try to get under, you know, because then when you're getting under someone's skin, you're making them play now with their emotions.
Yeah.
And when that happens, they start to play bad.
Yeah.
Because now they're upset, or now they want, oh, I got to get that guy.
Yeah.
And now they're not making smart decisions.
Yeah.
Because now they're playing with their
Yes,
emotions.
You're right.
And
That's my biggest problem.
I know, well, it was for me for a long time.
He's throwing cards, chips are flying,
Yeah.
Who did
banging
I-
at the table, yelling at the dealer like it's their fault.
No, you know how it is. Someone pisses you off at the table and you just gun for that guy.
There's people that I can identify do it, and it's part of their game. It's called speech play,
yeah.
right? And there's people that are genuine jerks. We'll say jerks, who are just miserable to be around. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
They don't want to see anybody having a good time,
Right.
anybody winning. When they lose, it's like it's just it gets awkwardly quiet, and
Yeah.
it's just like we don't need that in poker.
Yeah. You want to play with people you enjoy playing with.
Yeah.
So you said you were gonna say something?
No, finish your question. I was gonna say something, but just finish your question.
Anyway.
I mean, with your like road rage, I
Yeah.
don't know how. If you
That's why I don't.
If you like lose with pocket aces to someone's pocket kings, and you're like,
You know how many times that has happened?
It happens.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like that happens all the freaking time.
'Cause you're not a
Pocket
good-
aces,
you're-
pocket kings.
You're not a
boom.
good poker player. That's
I don't
why.
want to get like, I don't like the people who talk about poker and then like they tell like bad beat stories or poker hands. But about a month ago, I saw a guy. So an orbit is like when you go once around the table, right? Like
Yeah, okay.
the dealer button goes once around the table. In one orbit, I saw a guy lose with aces full of kings to quad kings,
Yo,
What?
right? And like 4 hands later, that same player lost with quad threes.
Wait, how was it aces full of kings?
So they both
quad kings.
So the guy with aces,
isn't
flop-
isn't aces full of kings means he's got three
three
kings?
aces.
Oh, you're right.
So the guy with
Hold 'em.
aces flopped.
I'm stupid. We're talking hold'em.
Yeah. What do you think?
I was miles away, bro.
Yeah. So you're in Hollywood Casino again. Yeah.
Back there losing.
Must be really nice there. Like, tell me more about it in
is.
your head.
A lot of Asians that are dealing. You got to deal with that.
Need to
But they're
pronounce
very
their
nice and
R's a little bit more.
comfortable.
That's
Come
terrible.
on. Now you're gonna get me in
Frankie.
trouble. Don't reiterate. Don't reiterate slightly controversial statements over here.
Yeah, I'm only following your lead.
So I thought if it was aces full of kings, he would have.
has
the
the-
white guy would have had 3, but he must have been. What did he have? A single king, an ace, and a
No,
king.
no. So the one guy's holding pocket aces, the other guy's holding pocket kings. Flop comes out,
Gotcha.
ace,
Yeah.
king,
Yeah.
X, right? And then the turn was nothing. So for anyone who hasn't played poker, when you play Texas Hold'em, you then have a community. You have a community cards. 3 come out at once. It's called the flop. Then 1 card comes out. It's called the turn. So now you have 4 community cards. And then the last card is called the river, which now you have 5 community cards, which you can use with your hold cards to make the best 5 card possible hand. So what happened is that the guy with aces made 3 aces on the flop.
Yeah.
The guy with kings made 3 kings.
I got it.
And then the river, the last card, was like another king. So this guy has aces full of kings, and this guy with pocket kings
It's brutal
has
to lose
4
that way.
kings. But also in the same round, the same guy who lost with aces full had pocket 3s. And another guy had pocket 4s. So the flop came 3, 3, 4.
Holy cow!
And the turn was a 4.
Wow. See, that's what.
That's bad luck, though.
I'll
But
tell you
that's a part
this,
of the
he would
game.
have handled it. He handled it way better than you handled your driving situation.
What? I just mildly lied to a woman on the road. I don't get what the problem is.
Funny story though. Frankie was looking at you the whole time like, did this really happen?
Yeah.
And see, that's like we used to always play after work too, where I used to work with the whole crew. It's luck, gut, and skill. That's what my buddy Kenny, who's passed away now, God rest his soul, used to always say. It's luck, gut, and skill.
Yeah.
Could be in that order. Would you say it's in that order? Instead of-
Poker.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's always when there's cards involved, you can't control them. No matter how good you are, there's always
Luck.
going to be some element of luck. But the skill part is being able. There's things called like pot control, where you don't allow a pot to get so big.
Right.
Now, like you can't control like your money. Like in the sense that how there's betting, right? We call it stack to pot ratio. So it kind of like when the last card comes out, and I don't want to confuse anyone, but part of controlling the luck factor is controlling some things like
Betting.
we call
Pot.
pot control or slow playing.
Yeah. That.
You know,
yeah. All those.
or like a delayed C bet, like a delayed continuation bet.
Yeah, but those are pretty obvious tells sometimes. Like that can get like
Well, the better
they're
players will
they're
mix.
easy tells to pick up.
Yeah, but the better players won't. They'll change their patterns.
Are you a better player?
Well, it's
How would you rate yourself?
Poker
Let's
is-
be honest.
like 1 to
I
awesome.
mean, I don't know. How would you rate that?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I've never been asked this question.
On a scale of 1
Really?
to 10, what's
No.
your skill ratio? Like
Yeah.
5 being
Scale of 1 to 10.
medium,
like
obviously.
like what I consider myself as a player,
Yeah.
or as like my understanding of poker, like in depth.
we wouldn't have you on
That
here if you
I'll
didn't
rate.
understand.
That I'll
poker.
rate higher.
Okay, so let's do. Yeah, we could do both. Let's do your skill as a player,
Right.
and then your morality. I give it a 2.
I'll give my skill as
Knowing
a
you for so
player. I'll give my skill as a player.
Does your mother know about this?
Yeah. That's another thing. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but one of my best moments in this whole on this whole path was my parents, family, friends. I didn't have any support from anyone. They're like, you're wasting your time. This is a dead end road.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would say the same thing if I was a father, but it can work out well.
Yeah, but the best one of the best moments of this whole journey was not only having their support, but my dad would come to my games and
Really?
watch me and
Oh.
support me in person.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, while the Giants game was on. I'm sure he was there for the football game. But no,
At
he'd
least he
be
was there.
he's like, you'd never be able to support yourself, and to prove him wrong, not in the sense I wanted to prove him wrong, but I wanted, that feeling
Yeah.
of proving all those people
Yes,
wrong.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like
Is there
vindictive.
music playing in the headphones?
No,
Did you press something? No? All right.
no. You hear that?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. So it was something like that before.
Was it, or was it just a motorcycle that just passed that sounded like music?
Maybe.
So
Whatever.
we have to start over.
No.
And action.
No, these are the bloopers that everyone loves. They just get a grand old kick out of them.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, you disappointed parents. That's right. So
Once upon a
your
time.
dad's like, I wish he was trans. I wish he just came out as trans
Oh
instead.
How do we go from Asian dealers who can't speak English to now my dad wanted me to be trans?
No, not wanted you. He would have preferred.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Do you know my mom wanted to name me Prince?
What? Oh,
Yeah, thank
Did
God,
she just
right?
love Prince that much? Or?
I mean, thank God for my dad.
You would
If
never
he
have
wanted
any
me
friends.
to be, if he wanted me to be, this is not getting aired. We're not talking about trans. But if he wanted me to be trans, he would have been okay with the name. Prince Pipitone, can you
Oh
imagine?
my God.
PP? PP initials? My initials? Come on.
You could never do anything you've
I
ever
hope you
done in your whole
understand
life.
that's the name of
You would
this
have a
podcast.
totally different life.
PP Prince.
Yeah.
You would have a totally different life. You'd be
PP
like
no.
some Dragon Ball Z fan in his basement, 600 pounds.
God. Why?
Prince.
Because I'm the firstborn, so I guess it would make my dad the king and me the prince. That's horrible.
Is that why? Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
bad.
Or I don't know if it was because of Prince.
You know what sucks? Michael Jackson named his kid Prince, and then you would just grow up be like, oh, like Michael Jackson's kid? Gosh.
I don't know.
Thank God your father slapped that out of your mother.
Instead, my dad went with just, hey, let's name them after both our dads. So I'm named after both my grandfathers instead of Prince.
There you go.
Good.
So you dropped out of college. We were talking about this. So you dropped out of college
Yeah.
to actually pursue this,
Yeah. I mean,
which is ballsy.
I would, most college kids, I lived away at college. So most college kids would
Where'd you go?
East Stroudsburg. I mean, it's an
nice.
hour away.
Yeah.
It was a perfect amount of
Yeah, it's perfect.
distance. But college
next
kids
to
are
all those casinos.
Exactly.
you know what's funny? I wish Mount Airy was around at that time because that's exactly where it is.
Yeah.
But this is how crazy it was. Most college kids are drinking, partying on the weekend. I'd get in my beat up, I don't even know what it was, and drive 3 hours to upstate New York, where you could gamble. It was on an Indian reservation, Turning Stone.
Yeah.
You could play poker and gamble there at 18. So this is before I'm 21.
Oh, wow.
So I would literally wait for the weekend and just sometimes I'd go by myself. And at 19, 20 years old, I built up enough comps to stay in this beautiful resort. And while
Wow.
the kids, when we would play poker back in the dorms, well, we had apartments. We'd do $5 buy-ins. I remember I had $100 bill one time, and the kid's like, "Is that 100?"
Yeah, that's unheard of for college kids.
Yeah.
10 other kids.
I was
come
like,
in,
"Yeah, I could buy into
"Whoa,
this
it's
20
100."
times."
Wow.
And that's what I'm gonna do every time I get knocked out.
But I'm not getting
They
knocked
hated
out, so-
that. I was like, "Do you understand? Rebuying into a poker tournament is a good thing. There's more money."
Yeah.
People were like, "Yeah, but
No, yeah, but
if
There's
you're
more
out,
money in
you're
the
out."
pot.
Yeah. What do you mean?
that's what I say.
More
We used to
beer
say all the
money,
time.
right?
Exactly.
I'm happy to donate.
There's more money to win.
Yep.
Let people keep buying in.
Yeah.
And then you cut it off at a certain ante, and that's it.
We still play. Me and a group of friends. We still play just a $20 home
Recreationally.
game. And I actually
I miss that sometimes.
I'll invite you the next time we do it.
Who is it?
You don't know any of them. They're nice kids, trust me. If you could handle anyone at our buddy Joe's house, you could handle these guys.
play
They're
some.
actually, what's funny? This is why I say you never know. You can make friends at any stage in your life. The last job that I had that wasn't poker.
Blockbuster.
It was a banking job at PNC. And this was an intermission during my poker playing, right?
when
Because
your
my
parents got
girlfriend
proud
at
of
the
you
time
again.
wanted me to get a job and be, just a
Upstanding, yeah.
normal citizen of.
Whatever
I've
you're
never been
supposed
normal,
to be.
so I don't know, right? So I played the part, but luckily I met my friend Andrew at the time, and he had stayed in close contact with all of his frat brothers from Rutgers, and they honestly have become some of my best friends now, and there's 12 of them,
Yeah.
and we're all the same
You
age.
guys play. That's who plays.
And we get together at my buddy's house, who has a really nice man cave in his garage, and play cards, watch UFC pay-per-views. Really like man it up. If you guys want, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come.
But
listen,
I, you know what it is? I've reached a point now though. Like
You're all gonna take my money though. I suck.
I tell them all the time. I'm happy to deal for you guys and not play.
I enjoy dealing.
Why? Because you beat them all the time.
Not
so
only
you-
that, but it's like the pace of play is agonizingly slow.
Agreed.
Oh my goodness.
When everyone
I hope they're gonna watch this, and I want you guys to know, pick it up. Don't tell stories in the middle of
Yeah,
a deal.
okay.
Absolutely, 100%. That drives me insane. The timer's going, Annie's are going up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, deal,
Yeah.
and then tell your story.
I always say this. They never get it. They never get
All right,
it.
I'm coming up next time. I'm gonna lay
It's
down
like
the law.
mid deal. Everyone has one card. We're supposed to get two. Mid deal. He's just let's story tell.
Yep.
Let's
Oh,
story
man,
tell.
remember
Me and my
playing-
friends do that because we drink too much when we play too. So it
Yeah.
just becomes like now a night out. I'm getting strobe lights. I'm
That's
putting on
the worst,
music.
yeah.
It's-
So now it's like I'm happy to deal.
Yeah.
I'll sit there. I get the same enjoyment out of it. I'm hanging with the guys. I'm dealing. They're playing. I'm keeping control of the time
Yeah.
for the blinds and stuff. So they don't have to do anything.
Yep.
I'm like, this is a dream for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
I would enjoy it when somebody else decides to deal with my friends because they all make me deal. They're like, "Nah, you're good at it." It's
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's not even like the mid hand storytelling. It's like the shuffling. It's like
Oh, so you get weird with it.
no, because they take their time.
Oh, I got
He's just
you.
saying it's slow. There's not.
And
much
I'm just
order.
like, oh, but then even in the middle of the shuffle, it's like, hey, do you remember,
Yeah.
bro? Deal the
It's like,
card,
wrap it up, B.
please.
Wrap it up.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
That's what I'm saying. I'm happy to shuffle. I don't need anyone to shuffle for me. I don't need, just
Yeah.
do whatever you guys got to do.
You know what I want to do?
Play.
Kind of, yeah,
I want to go to
actually.
the casino after this.
Can we?
No, we
Let's
gotta
take
work
Frank.
tomorrow.
Frankie's
We
got shotgun.
So let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, I want to talk about the technicalities, advice, tips.
Sure.
Also,
Crazy
touch more on
stories.
like how, like he got into it because we're
I'll
like
think about it.
because we're
He's still
telling,
thinking about the road rage.
we're
incident.
getting through this like the same way his friends play poker, where it's just like
Well, what's the goal here?
all
What- I mean,
the
what do
other
you-
stories.
Do you see a finish line or something that I don't know about?
There's no finish line. I just want to know how like he got started to it, and like for younger people, how you can
Okay.
Okay.
Here's first question after break.
All right, you can
How did you get started?
break.
Well, because I'll forget it.
And listen, you guys could ask me whatever. Like nothing's off limits. There's. Trust me. We could. I know you guys are tired.
I want to know his transition, like what you were saying off camera, like from
What are you doing? I didn't put us out yet.
put us out. It's all
Let me put us out real quick. Hang on.
Wait, oh, you gotta cut it. You gotta.
All right,
right.
folks.
You want to get like the
No. Folks, stick with us. We'll be right back.
Call Quartz Plumbing and Heating for top-rated service in Bergen County, New Jersey. And don't forget to keep treats for Frankie on hand.
Folks, welcome back to Plum Bums Podcast, the Everyman's Podcast, period.
beautiful.
Happy?
Yeah.
Won the vote.
Yep, good.
You should have gave the old shuffle up and deal.
Shuffle up and deal.
That's what usually kicks off a poker tournament.
Maybe you could do like some sort of weird transition at halftime, with like cards on the screen being shuffled or dealt.
You know what? We should get a magician on here.
We had a magician on here.
We did?
Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
That's like saying we had a professional wrestler on.
I
here.
haven't edited his podcast yet, so we're getting
Okay.
there. I totally forgot about that. No, that was Anthony Coppola.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are we
That
filming?
you can't. No,
we are.
You can't air that now.
That's
Jesus.
funny.
All right, we can't air any of that. I'll start
No.
again. 2:30.
Really a fun one for you to edit.
All right, folks, welcome back to Plum Bums Podcast, the Everyman's Podcast. Boom,
That's it.
done,
That's all we need.
Donezo. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you here next time. Folks, we're here with Sal Pipitone, professional card player. It's how you made your millions over the past 15, 20 years.
I wish.
You look like it too.
Oh, I appreciate
When you
that.
dress, you know.
Thanks, man.
I mean, you know what? I have a pug. I'm looking at this black sweatshirt, saying I could never keep a sweatshirt like that, black, with her hair everywhere.
I had a pug too. They're the best.
They explode, and she's exploding right now.
Well, we're talking
Summertime.
about. Oh yeah. Oh, the shedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think I meant spontaneously
spontaneous.
combust?
No.
Exploding kittens.
Did you have
Well, I
all of a
feel
sudden
bad
like
because
the
they
bottom of the
just-
camera is like it's just like an orange glow?
Jesus. There's got to be
So
some
stupid.
like animation of Frankie exploding at this point.
You
All right,
just
we'll think
started the
about that.
idea.
Yeah.
So let's get back to what we were talking about. So professional card player, you've been doing this for 15 years, over 15 years, on and off 20. Okay. You've been through a whole bunch of different aspects of this game.
Right.
So you started as a player, which I assume everyone starts out as.
Yeah.
But then you got into dealing,
Yes.
which you actually say that you can actually make a pretty decent living at.
Right.
Even the underground.
Yeah. When I found out that you can make, you gotta understand, when you're playing for a living, you're risking your bankroll, right? Which
Yeah.
is money you essentially set aside
the part I
to
hate the
just
most.
play poker with.
Right.
You know, just like any other business where like your income, your profits, you divide however you like reinvest into your bankroll so it builds.
Right.
And the rest of the stuff you just do whatever you have to do with. But again, you're essentially risking money.
Yeah.
Then when I found dealing, I found that I was able to make the same amount, if not more, and I wasn't risking any money.
See, that's crazy.
And it was just a no-brainer transition for me. And I was naturally good at it. So yeah, that was a fun period. So I've been mostly nowadays focusing on that.
On dealing?
Yeah.
Not so much being the player.
I still play. I still love poker just as much as I did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Someone told me a long time ago, it's a hard way to make an easy living. And
Yeah.
because if you think about it from just a simple aspect of like, oh, I get to just wake up and play cards for a living. No. Like
I
when
like that. I've never heard that before.
yeah, when your livelihood is on the line
It's a hard
and
way
you're
to
not
make an easy living.
and you're not sharp
It's like
every day.
OnlyFans.
Exactly.
It's like having
What
an
are you risking
OnlyFans
there?
account.
Your dignity?
Pretty much, yeah. Your parents talking to you ever again?
Oh my god.
Talk to me about like running games. Actually
So-
running games.
Yeah, the same way I got into dealing.
Basically
So
being totally soprano in like a hotel room. Hotel 8
no,
on
see,
46.
that's the one thing. That's the one thing. Like, I'm a big advocate to like, when people think about the underground, right? And what I mean by underground is games that are not in a casino.
Yeah.
They could be in places like this, or like in the back of a restaurant, or like, you know, and you get cats from all over the place.
Right.
Like I've played with, you know, people are like, oh, aren't you afraid? Like, you know, no, you have cops, lawyers, doctor, everyone loves to play poker.
Yeah.
No one's giving you a hard time.
Right.
You know, and there's a notion that a lot of these games are illegal, but most of them aren't. There's
There's legal ways to do it.
right there, you know, just like anything else, there's legal ways to do it.
Yeah.
And there's illegal ways to do it. But I've always cared about doing things the right way and always shining poker under a positive light and not give it this stigma of like backroom, dungy,
Yeah.
dark,
Violence.
shady. Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine brought me to a game once, and I got friendly with the host of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it happened, but we got friendly, and then there was an offer on the table about him needing a dealer because you need 2 dealers for one table. They rotate every 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I expressed interest because I saw how much they were making because it's tip based.
Yeah.
But they make a pretty good living. So I said, you know what? And because I wanted to like explore different avenues with poker, I tried it, was good at it, got better at it, and was comfortably able to make a living that way.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
It was, yeah.
That's actually a pretty interesting transition from being a player, because you think you're being a player. I'm not going to go back down to dealer. I want to become a better player, bigger
Right.
player.
There's a lot of ego with players.
Well, yeah.
And I also know that, like I said, if you're not sharp, if you're not continuously studying and adapting to the times and to the game,
Yeah.
you're going to fall behind. You know, like when I got into it, I was just turning 20. I'm approaching 40. So I'm considered one of the older guys now.
You're more than approaching 40.
I'm going to be, I'm 39.
You're like pulling into the parking spot right now.
Still got almost a year, but yeah, I'm considered like one of the older guys now. So to me, it's always like,
How does it feel?
I feel the same physically as I did like when I was 18.
Oh
I can
my
still do
gosh.
a full-blown cartwheel right here.
In one
Do you
year,
want to bet me?
in 1 year, you won't be able to.
No.
What do you mean? I'll take that bet.
In 1 year
Full-blown cartwheel.
from today, in 1 year.
Yeah.
Dude, the second I had my 40th birthday, everything started collapsing.
The driving started getting angry.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you exercise?
No.
Well, that's
Do I
Does
look
it
like I
look-
exercise?
no, but I'm saying like, do you
Yeah, but
walk?
we have a. I mean, we work all day.
Yeah, but I'm saying like,
You know, it's not like we have an easy job.
this is why like
He's a very unhealthy
which
man.
is the
if you-
excuse I use.
He's a very unhealthy
but I'll say
man.
this to
I
anyone.
walked at work. Why do I got to do it after work?
But I'll say this to anyone who like feels like crap. Oh, I'm getting older and everything hurts. Yeah, I'm sure that's a real thing. But like, it's really about like how you.
Do you exercise?
I mean,
Got him.
He's pointing the finger at you. He doesn't exercise
no,
either.
it's not. It's not like I always am. I am active. Like when you say exercise, like do I go to the gym?
Yeah.
5 days a week? No. But you know, like I'll run, I'll walk, I'll
Yeah, I do
play
that
like
stuff.
a sport. You know,
I'll
so
do
like,
some walking.
yeah. But I'm like, for me, like I just it helps keep me sharp.
Well, no, you're right. Listen, I'm just making excuses for myself. I know that.
No, and I don't want to come off like I'm like some. I'm
it's
like
fine.
you know.
It's fine.
But
It
think
doesn't
about
affect
it,
me at all.
We're here for poker tips, not health tips.
But how it translates into poker is that when you're putting in a session, it's like I'm probably 8 hours on average, and you're sitting.
for dealing or for playing?
Well, both, right? So when you're dealing, you're dealing pretty much from the time the game starts to the time the game ends. That could be more than 8 hours. When you're playing, you're gonna put in a solid session. They say after a certain amount of time, your brain isn't as sharp.
Yeah.
You know, it starts to deteriorate
Yeah.
with time. But being active and staying active, however it is, keeps me sharp. Like so in like hour 6, when I'm still like focused and you're starting to fade, people like me take advantage of that because it's like it's not my fault you can't keep up.
yeah.
Shiesty.
You're like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm just gonna go all in. Well, that's stupid.
I can't even count how many times I've said that.
Right? Yeah. So it's just like so I make sure I never get to that.
Yeah.
Like I want to get up the same way I sat down.
What's
Same
with
energy.
is online poker still a big thing?
Not as big as it used to be.
No,
No, unfortunately, there was a lot of.
it was huge.
yeah.
Online poker was like people would miss school to play online poker.
I mean, you could get into the main event at the World Series of Poker, which is considered the most prestigious poker tournament of the year,
Right.
and it's a $10,000 buy-in. But you could get into the main event for like $5 through online qualifiers. This is
Really?
why the poker boom happened in like 2004, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Every year, it went from like 2,500 entrants to 5,000 entrants to almost 8,000 entrants in 2006.
Wow.
And most of the field were online qualifiers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Unfortunately, there's a date and time called Black Friday. It was April of 2011,
Oh.
where the U.S. government essentially shut down all U.S. Well, they weren't. That's the thing. They were technically not U.S. poker sites like Poker Stars, Full Tilt Poker.
Oh, it was all out of the country.
Yeah, so it technically wasn't regulated, and
It just means the government wasn't making money off.
and
of
they
it.
weren't making money off of it.
Yeah, did
I
they-
remember people would win tournaments for like, you know, a substantial amount of money, and that money would hit their account
Tax-free, yeah.
tax free. This went on for years, and I think it just got too big.
Yeah.
It made too much noise, and the U.S. government just said, "Nah."
So that same day, did they like close all their Swiss bank accounts too, like the government and the
Well,
wasn't that the day for them as well, when all the corruption ended?
Poker Stars and Full Tilt continue to operate in Europe and other parts of the world, but
You
Yeah.
can't play them here.
no. Poker Stars eventually made its way back, so you can now everything is regulated. It's nowhere near as big as it used to be, not even
Yeah.
close. Full Tilt was bought out by Poker Stars,
Okay,
but the interesting story with Full Tilt is there was a whole scheme going on there. So when the government seized Full Tilt Poker, they were supposed to have something like 440 million of player funds that people deposited over time. And when they seized their money, they had less than 100 million.
nice.
So when everybody
So
lost their money.
all the shareholder, whatever, the people that had pieces of Full Tilt, they all pocketed that money.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
based.
scumbags.
Yeah, how's that based? He's gonna take.
There's a
your-
lot of people that were well-known poker pros that even to this day, like 13 years later, they still don't show their face.
Really?
Yeah, because they stole from all of us.
Yeah, good.
That's
Millions,
crazy.
hundreds
Good
of
that they
millions
got
of
in trouble.
dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, and yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, it's easy to be greedy in a world where there's a ton of money, and your reputation, like I've cared about mine, you know, is you know, it is all about character. And I think my longevity in all of this is because of how I've you know,
Adapted. You
not
think?
only that, but like how I carried myself and how I was, you know, with integrity and, you know, just it is about relationship building too, especially when you go from player to dealer to host.
Yeah, that's true. You need a good,
You know,
you need a good
you-
referral.
Yeah, if you don't have a following, you can't
Right.
have a poker game. You can't have a business.
I think that's pretty cool that you're able to build it like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
to be honest, when you think underground poker, you think of those scummy,
Right.
disgusting basement, smoke-filled.
Like they show in
Gangsters,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, if there's an actual, what's the deal with sponsors?
Sponsors kind of like mainstream sponsors kind of died out when online poker got shut down.
Oh, so they were pretty interconnected.
Yeah, I mean, if you found yourself on a TV table in
Yeah.
a tournament, or like in a cash game that was being broadcasted, you would see a lot of guys that were wearing patches,
Yeah.
sponsored pros or whatever. Even if you weren't a pro and you got onto a ESPN table, it's like free advertising.
Yeah.
And it's not free, but like they pay you to wear their patch. So you're being sponsored, even if it's just for that one tournament. But that kind of went out the window when online poker got shut down.
That's crazy that they're so intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense though, because that's where you're gathering. That's where you're finding people who are coming up. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
well, that's where the game is changing. Like what you said before, and I've watched a couple poker videos because I started playing again with my friends. So I'm trying to like
How you been doing?
catch. I'm doing all right. I'm doing fine.
It's a process.
Yeah, I'm one of the. I would say out of my group, I'm one of the better players. It's probably me and my other friend, TJ. We're usually
Would he say that?
yeah. It would always say it's you know it's almost like a heads up match. But I've been watching a lot of these videos of like the older guys in poker, and they're talking about because they're not winning as much.
Right.
The younger, newer guys that maybe you don't know their names, but they're winning a lot more often, and they were talking about it at the table, and they're like, if you don't change with the times,
Yeah.
these kids, you might just think it's a simple card game of poker that's, you know, been around for however many
Right.
years, but the way they bet changes, the way
Yes.
that they re-raise change, all these different things that, you know, I'm trying to understand, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting how it
It
changes.
is
like
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting game.
That's the one thing I've always loved about it. The dynamic, you'll never like, for me, like anything that I've ever done, like I'm a very passionate person. So like when I, get into something, like I just want to like immerse myself with all the knowledge, and poker's a game that you can never master.
So why don't you know what, I'm going to make suggestions on what you should do with your professional career, but like, and I think we talked a little bit of off cam. What was that? I think we talked a little bit of this off camera. A lot of different ways to make money in this industry is to have a YouTube channel,
Right.
a coaching channel,
And that's what
tips
it is
channel.
now. Yep.
I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think?
I mean,
about
I think it's great. It's, again, everything changes with time.
Full Tilt Pipitone.
Wow.
.com.
You know what's funny about that?
Full tilt PP. His other initials.
So usually when we say someone's like losing control or getting angry, like you used to,
Still do.
it's called we'll be like, Phil's going on full tilt. You know?
I remember that.
So
it was more so my
listen,
brother.
I've had, I'm Sicilian, like
So am I.
I've had growing pains, we'll call it. I was a very bad loser once upon a time.
You're
and,
talking to me like I don't remember these days.
Well, I'm telling
I know.
I don't want to come off as this guy who has it all figured out. But it's just like anything where
You do something for 20 years, you're going to get better at it.
Yeah.
And it is a skill.
you learn to control your emotions.
Those stupid little games that we used to have, it was up to the person who was playing to either pick up and like learn from it or just go there just to screw around.
Right.
You know?
A lot of time it was just a pastime. That's
Yeah.
what cards are, really.
Yeah. What do you think about having a coaching channel?
I never took one personally. Oh, you're asking me if I would do
if you
one?
put out a YouTube channel. Or,
Sometimes I don't know if I could express something how I would want it to come off.
I can tell
So-
through this whole podcast.
Thanks. Don't make me go until.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's my strong suit.
Okay, that's fair.
You know.
I mean, you got a whole bunch of other stuff going on with it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like in a formal setting, I don't know if I'd make the best teacher.
I say this because like that's like besides the podcast, a lot of our YouTube channel is training, teaching, showing customers, showing jobs, stuff like that would be my shtick. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's why I'm trying to like relate it to that. But I get it. If you're going all these other avenues, and there are plenty of other avenues, and if you're excelling, go for it. To me, it's a very cool way to make your money.
Yeah.
To feed yourself.
And that's the thing too. I think from an early age, before YouTube, before vlogging or podcasts or any of that stuff, like I was like, I think I got it from a young age where it's like you don't have to succumb to this like dreadful series of events that are supposed to go on in your life. Like,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go into all this debt with going to college, not being guaranteed a job. Now that I'm looking for a job, it's something completely different than I went to college for.
You're welcome to rag on college all you want.
Well,
We freely do that on this show.
I wanted to go to college because I was the first in my family to do it.
Okay.
And my dad used to say, it's just a business. And he's like, unless you're going for like something prestigious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a waste of time. And I used to say, shut up. Let
No,
me
he was
live my
totally
life.
right.
And he was totally right.
Totally right.
He was totally
A
right.
lot of parents don't say that. They say the opposite.
But I'm saying in regards to that point, you, especially nowadays in 2024, if you're like, if there's one light bulb on, you don't have to like do something you hate.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the internet now, I mean, like YouTube and podcasting. And I wish you guys all the luck. Like
Well, we need it.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
saying, like people don't open their minds to like.
Being
It's
creative,
okay. You know what?
figuring out
Even
how
at
to
a
make
young
money.
age, like for me, it was like I'm just gonna chase something, see how far it takes me.
Yeah.
And luckily,
Do you recommend to like younger people the path that you took, like dropping out of college and pursuing this kind of stuff? Because you said that your father, I don't know if you told this on or off camera, but you said that your father specifically wasn't happy about you doing it. And also obviously your mother, but like you, I don't know if you're a father. Are you a father?
no.
No. I mean, would you let your kid do so, or would you encourage your kid to do something like this?
So you bring up a really good point, and this is going to answer the question you brought up. I don't encourage people to take this path. What I encourage people to do is chase your dreams, your passions. It's okay to fail. Like, even, you know, for me, it didn't start to all come together until I was in my early 30s. Like, I went through a lot of trial and error, a lot of like ups and downs, a lot of moments where I questioned myself and was very hard on myself. But so to the poker life, it could seem like very on the outside looking in, it could seem very like luxurious, it could seem very like cool. I don't encourage people to it's a very, like I said, hard way to make easy living. You're, you know,
Yeah.
if you can't separate, like, it, you have to want it. Just like any professional sport, like, if you're not practicing every day, if you're not getting better, you're not going to make a team, you're not going to get a big contract.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But
You got to put in the
what
sweat
I
and
will
tears.
encourage is that I feel like a lot of people are afraid to go after their dreams and fail. And I like to think that, you know, if anything, maybe I'm not the best poker player in the world, but I like to think that I'm a good example of, you know, you can make your dreams a
You can
reality.
do something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to sound corny, but it's the truth. It's manifestation. It's believing in yourself. And
Now you're
it's
sounding
okay.
corny.
I was reading off the teleprompter.
No, well done. Well done.
Turn that Coke bottle just.
But it's true though. I mean, like, that's, if there's any message that comes from this, you know, this is the path I chose because I saw the bigger picture of what I wanted it to look like. You know, it started with like, oh, I want to make a lot of money. I could be famous by getting on television, but then it was bigger than that. It was like, I wanted to do things my way. I wanted to prove to people and to myself that it's possible, that like chasing your dreams isn't like you're just wasting your time and this and that. You know, even if I end up doing something else later in life,
Right.
you know, like, I'm going to look back at this time. I'm like, you know what? Good for you.
Kerr said the same thing when he was on. He goes, even if this doesn't work out and I end up just doing something else, he's like, I won't look back on this time as a time of regret.
Yeah.
And he does another completely unorthodox thing.
And I
to,
love
like,
it.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling, so underrated.
We're going to stop real quick. I'm going to turn on the AC and we're going to pick right up because I have one more question, unless you had something else to add. That was pretty good. That's a good ending. We're going to go to the next one. Okay. Everyone good? We all good? Yes. Okay, so where were we? Oh, so you mentioned, let me just take that again. So you mentioned World Series of Poker. You've made a couple of appearances over
Yeah.
there. What the heck was that like?
Intimidating at first.
It's huge, right?
Yeah, you walk into the event center or ballroom, wherever it's hosted, and you just see a sea of tables and people, and all you hear are chips.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I
how
love
the
that
hell?
sound, though.
Yeah, it really is it's incredible.
Everything that surrounds the game is very enticing. There's a lot of
It's-
flashing
yeah.
lights and colors.
But
and-
then, but to that point, when you're there, like, the World Series of Poker is considered the biggest event of the year.
Yeah.
So you walk into the room. Mind you, there's 3 of those rooms, right?
Wow.
Because, like I said, there's like, they have to accommodate up to, last year, the 2023 main event broke the record for biggest field. Mind you, it's a $10,000 buy-in just to get in. They had over 10,000 entrants.
wow.
They have to accommodate. You can only fit 10 people at a table.
Yeah.
Imagine how many tables you need to fit
Yeah.
10,000 people.
How many
Holy
dealers?
smokes,
How many dealers?
You know, tables, dealers, all that money. It's so.
So when you walk into these rooms and you do see like the lighting and all the ESPN and
Yeah.
all the cameras, it's like
It's like, holy crap.
look,
I'm
Ma, I
here.
made it.
it really is
You
like,
told me I
even
couldn't do
now,
it.
like, I get goosebumps thinking about my first time going. It's like,
How many times have you gone?
maybe like 8.
Wow,
to
really?
play.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've spent like the World Series is like it's considered like a poker festival
Yeah.
because the World Series is comprised of like 80 different events.
Okay.
And it goes from like the end of May till like 4th of July weekend. Actually past it, which culminates with the main event.
Yeah.
So I've been there for like 3 weeks at a time, 2 weeks at a time. People like leave, come back because like, you know, you look
I
at the whole
gotcha.
schedule. You're like, I want to play this,
Yeah.
and then something at the end.
Well,
and then
how
the main
do you-
events at the end.
Is it not just like knockouts where like people like all these tables have to get eventually knocked down to the final
Yeah.
table? It is.
Yeah. I mean,
But you just said you can like choose games to play.
well, like I said, there's like 80 different events over the course of 6-7 weeks.
Mhm.
So you could just kind of map out an entire schedule.
There's a
for
whole
yourself.
bunch of different things.
Like Monday,
going
I'll play
on.
this tournament.
I gotcha.
If I make day 2 and I wanted to play this tournament on Tuesday, like you just won't play it. You don't have to prepay for any of it. You kind of just pay as you go.
I see. I got
You know, but the main event is literally an 8-day long tournament.
Yeah.
You have to
That's-
weed through 10,000 people to get to the final table.
yeah.
That is
All
quite
we
an
see
event.
is the final hand, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like they're throwing $1 million into the pot, and I'm like, but that's what now you explain it. It's like with the wrestler, you explain it, and all of this has to get done before you even get here.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the crazy
You know,
part.
I used to think that just those people are like the best poker players around, and they can pay the
No.
entry fee. But
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about poker too, especially poker tournaments. The guy who won in 2006 is from Paramus.
yeah, I did.
I actually just met him. He won his seat. I'm sorry. He did win his seat online back then. And at the time he won the biggest main event, which had like 8,000 plus entrants, and he won $12 million
Wow.
for first.
nice.
Holy smokes.
So yeah, like the poker boom happened because an average Joe
Yeah,
won a
Right.
seat on PokerStars for $40. He qualified on PokerStars, so he turned a $40 investment into a $10,000 buy-in, and he went to Vegas and played with, you know, back in 2003 the fields were smaller but they were tougher, and he won. He won like $3 million, maybe a little less, but
Wow.
$40 into $3 million,
Yeah.
and then boom. And back then there was much more exposure, so that's why every year after it went from
Right,
the
right.
fields doubled because more people got into it's buying a $10,000 lotto ticket,
Yeah.
you know.
yep.
Just the odds are way better.
Yeah.
Or are they? Would they be?
Yeah, you're,
yeah,
what,
they're
you're
way
at
better.
8,000 to 1 versus
Well, I'm trying to take into account like the prize
8
money,
million
too.
to 1.
But
Yeah.
so how about some tips and tricks, tells, stuff like that? Like give us an insight to how you play. Like what you look for.
I think for me it's always been easy to read body language, you know, kind of like
What does that mean though?
Well,
I mean, I know what body language is, but what is it?
we're creatures of habit, right? So
Yeah.
like we kind of there's things that we do without knowing that we're doing it that will give off tells. Like so kind of like you're dealt a hand, right? And you're on your phone, right? You look at your hand, it's a bad hand, so you fold, you're back on your phone, right? Now you get dealt a good hand, you put your phone down, you're
Right.
very engaged. That gives away the strength of your
Yeah.
hand. So little things like that.
So you basically taking the several rounds
Right.
to start picking up on that stuff.
Yeah, you can't pick up on stuff right away. You could also tell who's comfortable playing, who's played a lot, who
Yeah.
hasn't played a lot, just by based off how they pick up their cards or how they play with their chips. You could tell like guys who like how to shuffle chips. They've been here before, whereas guys that don't know like how much to put out, and it's like, oh god,
Or they're just playing a game.
yeah, no,
They're just a rounder.
no, it's very obvious, but
All right, so you're
Yeah.
reading the first couple rounds, you're starting to pick up on body language.
I could also tell like if someone's starting a conversation with me, if it's a genuine conversation that he's interested in whatever we're talking about, or if he's trying to pick up something.
He's trying
off
to
me.
pick something up.
Right. So
That's interesting.
yeah,
I just don't think I have the attention span to pay attention.
there's
to
a
all
lot that goes into it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's almost like counting cards in blackjack. To have to pay attention to all that stuff.
Right.
Be like alert the whole time.
Another thing is, and this is when you really like want to get good, when you're not in a hand, you pay attention to
Yeah.
the people that are in the hand.
Yep.
Like they don't know you're watching them.
Right.
And you kind of like you don't make it obvious that
Right.
you're paying attention, but you could use a lot of the stuff that they're doing in those hands against them later on, and they won't even know that you picked up on it because you weren't even in the hand.
Yeah.
So like I could be in the I mean at this point like I could fold a hand, be in a conversation with you, but I'm seeing everything that's happening.
You're using your peripherals.
Yeah, like it's just like a second nature to me at this
Yeah.
point. But that's the difference between live poker, which is what I've mostly done, versus online poker is just all math based. You know,
Yeah,
there's
it is.
no,
It's
there's
a
none of
whole-
these
Can't
tells.
read anybody.
Online poker, it's like they call it timing tells, like how fast you bet, the amounts you bet,
Yeah, that's true.
like odd numbers.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's just
It's not like in Rounders where he listens.
right.
where he
Yeah,
sees
that's
the
so
cookie.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Rounders is a great movie.
it's a great movie. I love
Way
that
ahead of
movie.
its time.
Yeah.
I can't believe that movie came out in '98. That movie's way ahead of its time. There's so much about the lifestyle. Like that movie is so good at telling a story
Yeah.
of, you know,
Yeah.
the life and the ups and downs, the dilemmas you'll face. You know, you gotta remember too, like people won't support you. Like if you're single and trying to date, you know, like you get to a wall where it's like, so what do you do for a living? And it's like, well, you know, but
Yeah.
people, you know, there's a lot of closed-minded people. You have to deal with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it could take a toll.
Are you lonely?
No. I got Frankie.
What else you got? Some tips. What are we looking for on
My
the
last
table?
question: who's your favorite poker player? Professional poker player?
I've always liked Daniel Negreanu.
yeah.
I think I like him because a lot of the things I do are similar to the things he does. He's very chatty,
Yeah.
but like kind of like, you know, with me it's genuine, but also like the back of my head it's like I'm processing
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what I can use.
I feel like it's always like with him in Negrano. It's just anytime he's talking, he's gathering information.
Yeah.
He's talking to you
He's
to
a
gather
great
information.
ambassador for the game. He, like I said, always shines a bright light on the game. You know, there's not, listen, at the end of the day, how we make our living is taking other people's money. And that sounds kind of how it sounds, you know, but there's ways to shine poker in the light where there is positivity that comes
Listen,
from it.
everyone's going there willingly. It's not
Right.
like everyone's going there knowing what's going to happen, what they're up against. You know, I was going to say, well, we do the same thing, but we actually give them like a service in exchange for the money.
There's a lot of
yeah.
there's a lot of people, successful people in poker who stepped away from poker because
because of that.
they just feel like they're not making a positive contribution to like society. I've had those dilemmas because you know it's a gray area. If you choose to do this for a living, you have no choice but to be a certain way, and I try to balance that with being who I am, and that's, you know, I like to consider myself as a generous person, as a charitable person, you know, like kind of like the opposite of who I am at the table, but
Yeah.
I kind of just try to have a healthy mix of the two. And to answer your question before, this is kind of why I don't like encourage people to you gotta understand too, with poker, if you're not disciplined, and a lot of what makes people successful at poker is being disciplined with money and your emotions and stuff like that. But if you're not, and you're a hothead and you don't have, and you lose control, now the money, you're like, oh, I lost in poker. Now I'm just going to go into the pits and try to make it back playing blackjack or roulette, you know? So it leads down this road,
Yeah.
you know? So that's why I say, I don't encourage people to learn the game. It is a beautiful game. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna encourage people to, whatever their dreams are, like her in professional wrestling, awesome. Poker the same way. They're not too different. You know, there's a lot of travel involved. You could have a good life doing it, and a lot of good things can come from it. You just got to make the best of it, and you know.
So when was the last time you paid taxes?
That's not on air. That is definitely not on air.
All right.
I was like, there's no way this guy's gonna ask me that question.
Don't worry about it.
You know, I file as professional gambler. You could file as professional poker player, professional gambler.
So why can't we put that in here?
You can, but like, you don't
a
ask
funny
anybody
joke.
else about their fucking taxes.
I guess so. How's your relationship with your parents now?
Great.
So I kind of want to. We talked about your longest time at a table, right? You said
Yeah.
it was 2 days,
Essentially.
like 2 full freaking days, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
That's like flying around the world twice.
On the
And just sitting there to me.
on the opposite spectrum, I one time drove to a casino. It took me an hour and a half to get there, and I played for 30 minutes and won a good amount of money.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what?
Take it and leave.
I just left.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Well, yes, but it was kind of a weird thing because I don't typically do stuff like that.
Well, you did the right.
But it was just like, I've been here 30 minutes. It took me an hour and a half to get here. Now I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
You made your money.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
But that's another thing too. A lot of people have that dilemma where it's like, oh, just ride the hot hand. Let me see how much I could win.
No, it never works.
And then it never works.
Never, ever
Then
works.
it's like, oh, I should have left when I had
know,
all this.
every
And now,
time.
not only did you give back everything you were up, now you gave back all the money you came
Yeah, I
with
know.
too.
Yeah.
But that's what I say. It's discipline.
If you
like,
if you can step out of it,
yeah, for me to be in that space where it's like, have that realization of like, doesn't matter if it took you 3 hours to get here.
yeah.
Like the amount of money, it was a lot more money than I typically would make in one session.
Uh-huh.
And I was able to identify that. And I was able to say, hey, this is going to put you like way ahead of like, you know, a couple months of income or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it would be really stupid not to get up and leave right now, even though it's not my style, because I like to put in the hours and I still enjoy playing. But to be in that space where it's like,
I'm good. I made my money.
yeah.
No, that's perfect.
And that's it. I walked out. Weird feeling, but it's the right thing to do.
So you got any advice for the kids out there instead of going to college? Go to learn how to play Texas Hold'em.
There's so many things you
We're gonna
could
get canceled before we
Sorry,
even
guys.
like.
No, just learn a trade. There's.
I think
It's not like
this is learn a skill.
This is
Learn
Yours
a
is a
skill.
skill. Ours is a skill, although it's a trade, but yours is a skill.
yeah, but I'm saying like just open your mind. Like you literally could learn anything. There's so many different ways you could learn nowadays. Like even not that we're old, but like when we were in high school, there was no social media. There weren't even cell phones yet.
The world
Nowadays, you guys have it easy.
They have access to everything.
Yeah, if you don't succeed, it's because you just don't want it and you're lazy. Let's just call it what it is. There's so many different
Back
ways.
that statement up. Yeah.
It's true. If honestly, there's so many ways.
You can get an entire college education for free on YouTube. Anything you want to. You want to go to school for marketing, accounting, whatever.
Right.
Just you can get your education on YouTube. The information is so accessible
Yeah.
right now, which is insane. And to be honest, I don't think the society knows the ramifications of all that because there's a whole bunch of negative stuff out there too.
Yeah.
Sal, I want to thank you for coming on. This is
for
a
having
very
me.
interesting industry.
Thanks for having me.
I mean,
Yeah, thank you.
it brings me back. I remember honing skills when I was younger. I never really bothered to do it.
Yeah, I
as a
mean,
permanent
listen,
thing,
we
but
can.
I'm down to go up and play. You want to go up and play some cards?
Yeah.
I'll shoot you a text. You know,
All right.
Yeah.
I'll make sure the deck is rigged, and you're like, how the hell did I lose this hand?
I knew it. Well, I know your tells though. So, yeah. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, folks. Thanks for joining us again. Plum Bums here every week for you. Every other sometimes if I don't get to the editing on time. We'll get you a new episode as soon as possible. We want to remind you that Quartz Plum Bums is sponsored, as always, by Quartz Plumbing and Heating. Since 1961, no job too small. 201-262-2656. We've been in business for a very long time. Our Google reviews will tell you how good we are on the job. Give us a call. We do full range plumbing service. And we just want to remind you to like, share, subscribe, share our reels.
You want to let him
Tell
post
your-
his?
Yeah, do you
Plug
do
in.
social media for this? Or are you just like?
I mean, I don't advertise myself or
Yeah,
anything.
you're not. This is not your social media thing, right?
No, I mean, you could Google me.
We come with a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Then you just see a bunch of me, like pictures
there
of
like
me.
that.
Just Google moose knuckle pee.
Yes, let's go.
Moose Knuckle never made it on. I guess I have to add it.
Oh, this is the Moose Knuckle episode. If you only know how it started.
All right, folks, be sure to check us out here next week, and we thank you for watching.